Truthfully, the process is repeated so much that it feels like it's become normal to see predators as frequently as we do. But that shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be a familiar feeling of uneasiness. We shouldn't have to face this issue virtually as common as we already face it physically. Most people, they come to VR to escape reality, if not for a moment. So why is it these monsters still can find access to us and our children to abuse them in both aspects of virtual reality and real life? There must be an answer. Something must be done about the predator problem on this platform that we call VR chat. Soon, there will be an answer. But for now, we will continue to do what we can. CoziMomo, a 21-year-old VR chat predator now known as Nebular Nexus. They have been around for several years, previously under the aliases of DJ Retro Witty, CoziMomo, and Nebular Nexus, and several other names. Now I know I probably just gave quite a few of you PTSD with the usernames alone, but it does get much worse. Truthfully, while going through CoziMomo's channel, I've had a realization that might sound ridiculous to some of you, but I swear it's just hard to remember. This realization was that these predators that I cover were at some point themselves children in their lives. So when I see a predator post a video of themselves on YouTube from nearly 10 years ago when they were a kid, I have to ask myself, where is this innocent child now? This innocent child that you were, how could it vanish so quickly in a decade? It's genuinely heartbreaking to see someone walk down this path. But now there's very little sympathy I have left to offer this monstrous individual, for their actions have become horrifyingly real. It becomes incredibly and increasingly concerning not only when you have years of history on VR chat for being a predator and groomer, but when you also have 3 different threads on you all talking about different allegations from various years of your life. Truly, in my head, it demonstrates how monstrous this individual truly is. I received a report about this vile individual in a ticket as well, which explained that Nebula took advantage of another underage individual nearly a year ago in August of 2024. When I saw they were in my fan group on VR chat, I knew then that they were closely monitoring what I was doing, and a lot of predators seem to do so. They attempt to blend in and get closer to me and my community to avoid being exposed, but it does not work like that. The predators that are actively stalking me, lurking in my community, or around my members, you all need to fill out some sort of job application and do the Discord moderator impossible. Get outside, touch some grass. I am so tired of kicking and banning degenerate child craving losers 24/7. Please go away and get out. All of the threads contain screenshots after screenshot showing DJ Retro or CoziMomo as a predator, or screenshots of them making up excuses of not being a predator. Another thing to note is that similarly to Skylar Blue, CoziMomo has admitted to faking dissociative identity disorder.
I am faking.
Can't hear you.
Faking what?
I'm faking a fucking system.
So what do these Twitter threads say exactly? Well, according to the first Twitter thread, CoziMomo is an extremely active member in the Regretivator scene and fighting scene. I have no idea what these are, but I believe Regretivator is a Roblox game, and I'm not entirely sure, so fact check me on that one. But Anyways, they used to go by Cruz or DJ Retro Witty and Vienchel Kudek on VRChat. CoziMomo was a 20-year-old VRChat model creator roleplayer, and they were huge in the FNF circle of avatar creators, but Cozy had a dark history of doing explicit deeds with people who are significantly younger than themselves. This last bit here from June 25th of 2024 confirms that Cozy was doing things with children even before turning 18. He was doing explicit deeds with those below the age of consent, much younger than himself. These explicit activities and roleplays did not stop with the youth even after they had hit the age of 18. I'd like to think after being called out for predatory actions the first time, it would be a wake-up call for CoziMomo. But that clearly isn't the case. They kept on sailing in their rapidly sinking ship and just kept moving on. He has been called out several times throughout the years for predatory behavior with those that are not of legal age. They continue to run from the past and avoid the responsibility of harm that they have inflicted upon their victims. And while people can change in years to come, we learn that Cozy hasn't changed and continues to be disgusting with non-adults. There is also proof of a conversation between CoziMomo and a child victim, where CoziMomo talks about feeling extra spicy, and Cozy talks about doing some sort of groaning competition like they were a Minecraft zombie being smacked. Oh, but I'm serious, what exactly is a groaning competition, dude? You're actually disgusting. And you know what, Cozy? I believe you have fully embraced the predator side of things. I seriously believe that you are by far one of the most sick individuals, not only because you've done these things, but because you know you do it, and you see nothing wrong with it. You seriously need a wake-up call or a reality check. And in another post, CoziMomo attempts to do a ship roleplay. No, not a pirate ship. A ship roleplay where two different characters like each other. Essentially, Cozy was down to do a ship roleplay with this child until they asked for Cozy's age. But to me, this scenario feels almost too much like Cozy's previous instances of predatory behavior. Remember, these repetitive patterns are also a common factor with groomers online. Aside from the 3 threads that you've already seen, there is a 49-page document that exposes the many horrific actions of CoziMomo throughout the several years. And the document begins with this statement. For almost 3 years, Cruz has been manipulating and he takes advantage of them by asking them to roleplay, gaining trust, and then proceeds to use the trust he has gained to harass it. He has had victims whose age ranged from and refused to acknowledge the many kids he had harmed. When confronted and asked why he goes after younger children, he responded with, well, they lied about their age. If I had $1 for every single time someone said, well, they lied about their age to me, I'd actually be a millionaire. There are many screenshots of CoziMomo doing inappropriate and explicit deeds with multiple at-risk children in this document. For example, in this one, we can confirm that they are dating CoziMomo, as it says dating DJ Retro in their roles on Discord. This individual confirms their age for us. This is a true eye-opener as it perfectly encaptures the idea that CoziMomo is perfectly willing to get into a relationship with a younger person who isn't even a teenager yet. It's really just genuinely horrible. From this screenshot on screen earlier, and through this screenshot, we learned that CoziMomo did explicit deeds with this victim, and even did so with another non-adult as well. One who was 3 years below the age of consent, and the other who was 6 years below the age of consent. They explained that they were forced to show their explicit parts in call, forced to do calls. Cozy would complain like a literal baby and manipulate this victim if they didn't do explicit deeds with them. And Cozy did do explicit things with this individual who wasn't even a teenager yet. This was confirmed by this other victim. In this screenshot here, we learned that Cozy actively talked about having some sort of phantom pregnancy. And now I'm going to go ahead and stop you there. I'm going to head out to my nearest train tracks and stop moving directly on top of them. Because I'm sorry, what are you even saying right now? No, I'm not doing phantom pregnancy, phantom sense, phantom pee, nothing phantom unless it's from Phasmophobia. Allegedly, CoziMomo talked to children about frequently visiting websites that promote zoo-like explicit activity and which is actually genuinely disgusting. We actually do have proof of the thing happening, so just stay tuned for that. I went ahead and I contacted a victim, and they told me about their experiences firsthand with Cozy. This message in particular takes place under Cozy's current renamed main Discord account, titled Subspace T-Mine. We can confirm this is Cozy, as you can see on screen here. There is a wish list, and Subspace refers to it as their wish list. This is just Cozy's brand new Discord account, essentially is what I'm trying to say. This next screenshot I show you is CoziMomo ERPing on Discord with an individual who isn't even a teenager while being around 19 years of age at this time. There is a 7-year age gap between the victim and Cozy here, and these messages are genuinely disgusting. Let me go ahead and read them for you now.
Pins to wall, he kissed, he bites, he soon kissed, he pulled away, he kissed while kissing, he grabbed, he bites, he more, he tied, he leans down, he touched, he goes, he took his...
Dude, he took himself to a prison. He took himself in to jail. He went to jail. Jail! CoziMomo also sent stuff like vor and inflation, and is highly obsessed with images of characters representing countries. All of these images and all of the things done by CoziMomo are genuinely disgusting and some of the most sickening things you can see on the internet. So I really just gotta ask, why? Why are these things happening so frequently as they are? It's not just like it's one and done with CoziMomo. It's happened 3 or 4 different times that CoziMomo has gone out of their way to do things with children. And honestly, I know that Cozy knows better. You're an adult at this point. I don't understand what you're thinking. We were all 19 at some point in our lives, but not all of us send inappropriate photos to young children and do explicit roleplays with them. On top of that, you send Five Nights at Anime characters to the vulnerable victim, and honestly, Cozy, you wouldn't survive 5 nights in prison for the horrible things you've done and continue to do. CoziMomo goes ahead and sends even more explicit images to this victim of 2 dudes getting it on. CoziMomo sends an NSFW Twitter to the same victim, and sends a whole collection of explicit images to this non-adult of their OC. It is indeed disgusting to expose this innocent young person to damaging and sensitive content as this, and they have done this with many other victims before this, so they just haven't learned a lesson. It's very clear to me. Still can't comprehend going from a young innocent child playing Roblox to becoming something as monstrous as CoziMomo 10 years later. Still playing Roblox and VR chat, but instead taking advantage of other developing individuals as an adult. Now, it is time that I confront CoziMomo for the behavior once and for all. How long have you been watching the channel? Just out of curiosity. This is just like a straight up like curious question. Like, has it been a while?
I don't really know. Probably like maybe a month.
Oh, just a month.
It started off with
so like
the spicy Lucifer videos.
Okay. Yeah, one of the bigger videos. Gotcha. Were you like curious about that kind of stuff, or did someone tell you that I existed, or I'm just curious?
I forgot his name, but he always had like a voice filter, a mask, and white hair.
Oh,
He was
Verum?
another predator.
Gotcha.
Verum. I started watching his videos before you, and then your videos came in the recommended, and I just started going from there.
Alrighty. So I another question I'm curious to ask you is, do you have, you don't have to share this, obviously it's a little bit more private, maybe, I'm not sure, it depends how you look at it. Do you have any sort of like history of mental illnesses or like any sort of illness that could affect the way you do anything or see things?
Not I'm aware of. Okay. No. My parents don't tell me much, except the fact that I have ADHD. That's like the only thing I know of.
No sort of like identity disorders or anything like that, or just like...
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Just had to make sure, just because I've had some instances in the past where I ask people questions and then they're all of a sudden like, oh, I've got this, and it's like an excuse to be used, and I'm like,
Oh no, I've seen those type of videos, and no, I don't deny anything.
Okay, cool.
COVID, so I didn't know what to do, so I started playing VR chat again. Met some people, met Nebby, and I wanted to get into avatar creating. So I talked to him, run through it. All I wanted was to make people happy. For avatars, that is. Until there's one person I encountered, they went by when I first met them. At first, he just enjoyed my avatars. He requested a few avatars to be made, and I did what I could to my best of my ability. He asked me to date them, and they sounded like... They have that type of voice where they sounded...
Okay.
I was obviously at the time, only to realize about a few days, no, a week? I don't remember how long it was since then. I only realized that a friend told me that they were... They didn't lie their age to me, no, I just didn't know at the time.
Okay. So you just
That was the
didn't
first
know their age at the time, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, I did not know their age at the time. I was just in denial, I guess. I continued to date them. Yeah. When the first of the pet allegations...
Yeah.
When it started to get really bad, I decided to break up with them. And split off.
Okay.
I kept my server up. It's still up, it's just no one talks it anymore, which I'm not surprised.
I will say I spoke to somebody who commented on that community post that I made about you. Yeah.
Buckets, I know who they are.
Yeah. And so you're probably familiar with what they have said to me,
Probably, yes.
which was quite a bit. They had quite a bit to say. Still probably have quite a bit to say. Their partner was there. Apparently they had some sort of run-in with you as well. So would you tell me, at this point in time, how old are you right now? You're like 21, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
turned 21 back in March.
Yeah. On the 26th, I believe, if I remember correctly. With how much that has been said about you and how much that has been gathered, my curiosity peaks when... Have you ever looked into any sort of the stuff that people have said about you, or recorded, or documented, or...
I've seen some recordings and I've looked at the document of me a little bit, but
Yeah.
when I looked at it, it just made me sick to my stomach knowing I did those actions, and I do deeply regret it, unlike some other that I've seen.
Yeah. From what I was being told with that person that we both know there in that call, they claimed that you kind of were getting off to the idea of being a predator. That's what they told me. So,
No.
but I can never prove that, but
It's mostly because I started working with my mother a little bit, and she's like a little dance coach for kids that are younger, and I just
I
help
see.
them with their what. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just her assistant at times.
With the victim that I met up with, there was photos sent to them on multiple occasions that probably shouldn't have been sent to them. So I have to ask, why did that happen? And at the time, it was in 2023, you would have been 19. So I am very curious as to how and why that went down the way it did. Do you know why that happened, or why those things went down, and why that person is so traumatized?
No, I'll be honest. I don't really know. My friends always say that I don't know is not an excuse, but
Yeah.
I generally don't know what to say because I really don't know.
They were very adamant, like, this person really messed me up, really hurt me, and they've always got off scot-free.
I talked to them a couple of weeks ago. I apologize. I literally told them, I deeply apologize. You don't have to accept my apology. But they brushed it off saying, oh, that's not a real apology. When I genuinely tried to apologize to them for what I did.
Yeah. So you would say you are sorry to your victims, though, right? Like,
Yes,
completely?
I deeply am.
So if I were to ask you, do you consider yourself like a predator by any means?
Sure, maybe my younger self, but up till now, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so because now I'm curious, because this happened, this stuff happened 2 years ago. There was something on a thread about you role-playing with 2024. That was a year ago. What was that about? Was that just something that happened, or just something that you did out of boredom, or...
I'll be honest, it was something out of boredom, because I don't have many IRL friends, and I don't have many friends to talk to on VR as of lately, so I just been DMing my older ones to do roleplays, because I don't know what else to do. I've been doing a little bit of roleplays with my ex-girlfriend as of lately.
Okay. CoziMomo, sorry to bring up that name, has forced me into being on calls, showing my explicit parts to them, and etc. That was, I believe that is the same person.
It is. That's Mike.
So, did those things happen, or is...
They did. I admit it, yeah, that did happen. I don't know what brought me to the point to do that.
Yeah, and why? And the instance with the 12-year-old, why did that happen? Because that's very concerning, especially. Do you get what I'm saying? Because to me, when I talked to you before in text, I was like, "Oh, it's not one and done. It's not twice and done. It's not three and done. This has been going for quite a while that these things have been happening, and I don't want you to tell me, oh, I'm sorry. This is what's going on. Here it is. especially when I see a repetitive pattern, and I just talked about repetitive patterns and grooming in my last video, and I understand, especially now, that people say they're sorry and then they repeat that pattern even after I've talked to them, and I want these people to do better. I want people to do better, because there's so much, just so much each year about you going on that I have like just written down, documented, and I'm just like, I don't even know where to start, truthfully, because there's so much to say.
There's things that I started to realize. It's not the fact that they were. I guess it was more the fact that I just. It's gonna sound really weird saying this. More the fact that I just want just pleasure in general.
Okay, but not with kids. You understand that it's not okay with kids, right?
Yeah, yeah, I realize it now. Yeah.
But even then, you were 19 with, so that's why I'm kind of like, you were an adult at that point. So I don't understand.
When I met, I was somehow their idol when I was making avatars around the time.
Yeah, and so you understand that one of the signs of predatory behavior is fulfilling a role of being a higher power. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you see a problem with that at all?
Yeah, I do.
I am incredibly disappointed, just overall.
No, I understand.
Especially since you claim to be a fan, and I've had that happen twice now, actually, which is the most harmful thing for me mentally, because it's like, oh, you know, this person totally likes my work and totally appreciates what I do and helping keep people safe, and then I have to confront them and tell them, hey, you haven't been keeping people safe. You've been doing the entire opposite of that, and I can't ignore that. Another thing they brought up was allegations of enjoying animals to an extent that was inappropriate. So, any sort of, yeah.
No. I have pets of my own. I don't do anything with them. I mean, sure, there's furry art I enjoy because I'm a furry myself, but that's pretty much it.
Like, what would help convince me and yourself that things were going to change? If you could tell me.
Well, my starting point is the fact that I will mostly, obviously, mute because some have come up to me and I just mute them or block them if needed to. I've been doing that as of lately. But if it's something to change from the past, I wish I never dated Mal, because that's what started everything.
You understand that ultimately it is your responsibility in most of these situations, right?
Yes, because I'm the older one and needs to take responsibility. So, as some of y'all know, this recording is from Sileskios. They talk to me. I've had my side. I've listened to what he has to say. Some of you wanted me to get this towards myself. Me getting talked by a hunter. For those who don't know, I am CoziMomo, Viantral Kudek, Nebular Nexus, but most importantly, people know me as DJ Retro or DJ Retro Witty. I was one of the first creators of the FNF world, but that's not important. What I want to get out is that my apology to my victims. I deeply regret what I've done. I'm trying to stray away. I'm trying to fix everything. I want to get in contact with the victims and apologize for myself in front of them, but I understand they don't want to talk to me. So that's why I'm asking Sileskios to record this so he can get it out there on his channel. I understand that you don't want to accept my apology, but that's your choice. I did go through like a mental thing throughout this entire few years. It made me reflect on what I did. As I said, I regret everything. I just hope I could get somewhat accepted, just not fully. I don't expect that.
After confronting CoziMomo for their horrific behavior with children and hearing their apology, I have to say that I genuinely am unsure if they're capable of change. A repetitive and vicious cycle has engulfed this person, and I'm just unsure if they're unable to break out of that cycle. I hope this video will wake them up to that reality, that their actions are real and horrifying and have affected people. So I've gone ahead and made a report to the NCMEC with your location and name, and I hope the police will do something about your horrific actions with various children, and I genuinely hope you will find a change of heart. Because I feel like feeding you guys the full extent of my investigation, I had been simultaneously investigating Cutie Trash with FFI while working on the CoziMomo case, and seemingly the two are intertwined. CoziMomo was in Cutie Trash's group, and Cutie Trash and I had been talking back and forth. What I didn't know was that Cutie Trash went behind my back and told CoziMomo to go into hiding while I was searching for them. But unfortunately, Cutie Trash was not able to deal with me, and now has been caught defending a self-admitted predator on top of all the other allegations. Cutie Trash, make no mistake, I know you'll see my video. I've enjoyed our talks, and I've screenshotted them all, but FFI and I are gunning for you next. It's been yet another Sileskios exposing video. I hope the victims are able to get the peace and justice they deserve. Don't forget to report your cases to the Cybertip hotline, and join my Discord if you'd like to submit a case for me to potentially cover. I will see you all in the next video. Please stay safe, and I will miss you all.